What's shaking, y'all? This is Byg B along with Jay Jero. We're back again. This time we're doing 3 Dinobots worth checking out. How do you like them so far, Jay?
I love this set, dude. They are absolutely incredible. I really like the Transformers animated series, and I like the way they recreated the Dinobots.
Now, big time I saw all 3 on anime, and still to this day, did a good job. I wish you had 2 more to help round out the Dinobots, but 3 is a magical number. But still, Jay, we want to pop these suckers open, and we're going to get this thing popping. So stay tuned, because the review just getting started.
Transformers, more than meets the eye. Transformers, robots in disguise. Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of...
Me Grimlock don't like being in box.
Well, guys, we're back, and this is all the Dinobots we got for you. And yeah, I gotta say, Jay, they look pretty good out of the box, especially Snarl, Swoop, and Grimlock. Grimlock looks pretty good, and he looked damn near looked like the G1 figures back in the day, Jay.
Yeah, they are all pretty tight. I like the display that we made here with posing the Dinobots out. Now, Grimlock was a little bit more difficult to pose as far as his beast mode, if you will, because I had to try to manipulate his neck and his jaw so that, I could pose him with his jaws open so that you could actually see the detail a little bit of his face. But I like the way they display. They display pretty nice, and they are very reminiscent of the original G1 Dinobots.
Still, I gotta agree with you on the Grimlock, because you can tell his jaw, you can open it up and back and forth, but also his arms, his Dinobot arms cannot do good as all. But in the activated one, you can move his arms, but the one drawback on it too is that he can't open his mouth back and forth. But the leader class, the working class mage, the Grimlock looks very phenomenal. As for Swoop, I like how they made him more articulated better too in his beast mode too.
Yeah, I really like Swoop's beast mode. They did a tight job with how you can manipulate him for display purposes as opposed to other incarnations of Swoop.
As for Snarl, I definitely like his beast mode too, but it seems that he's a little bit small. Should have been a little bit more bigger than what he is.
Well, technically, they're about size accurate, but it's funny that you mentioned Snarl as opposed to the G1 Slag.
Yep, if you guys don't know, back in the day, he was Slag to most people, but still, nonetheless, to the trademark company ideas, still, we call him Snarl.
It's funny that in an episode of Transformers Animated, when one of the Constructicons met him, he tried to treat him as a pet, and he wanted to nickname him Slag, and he said, I guess he didn't like it. So I thought that was a cute reference.
Yep, most definitely. Jay, when we get ready to transform these pet bad boys, or what?
Let's see what we working with. Me Grimlock tired of beast mode. Let's see what we working with.
And we're back, guys. Now, when we transform, I gotta say, Grimlock and Snarl looks fabulous. I had a little trouble with Swoop, but either way, he still got the pose. Now, Jay, how you like Grimlock from the beginning and then Swoop?
Starting with Grimlock. Grimlock does kind of remind you a little bit of the G1 throwback, minus the color scheme being a little bit off. The Japanese version of him is a little bit more color accurate, but nonetheless is a very nice figure. Pose is very nice. I love how they gave him the flaming sword with the option of spreading out the flame. That's really cool. Then we go to Snarl. I'm so accustomed to calling him Slag. We go to Snarl, and he's got his club. Now, if you look at the picture of him, the club is a little better detailed, so it has the flame effect that Grimlock's sword has, but not so much when you get the toy in the box. But that's an easy fix. Just detail it. But he poses pretty nice as well. And then, as Byg B mentioned, when we get the Swoop displays very nice. He has a lot of points of articulation, and he's very thin, so his displays do look nice. However, because he is so thin and kind of flimsy, he is sometimes a little bit more difficult to place, not manipulate, but place, and have a good displayed pose. But they look really nice as a set here.
Let me add this on the Swoop. Swoop is very awesome, but if you get for like your Kimber or whatnot, he'd be not good for let's say action figure like idea. But either way, if you give him like for let's say your own display purposes, I'd rather give it a good position, not in a let's say pose like Snarl or Gridlock, but let's say something more, let's say a decent pose that he could be like, you know, ready for action, heroic like pose. But as for Gridlock, I dig him big time. Like Jay mentioned, the colors were a little bit off from his G1 like counterpart, but nonetheless the Japanese came made professionally cool. And as for Snarl, I dig him too. But here's the thing about Snarl that let me, you know, feel a little bit disappointed about him in his club. Now you see him in the box cover, yes, like Jay said, but you can paint over it or do some wicked ideas for him. But nonetheless, the club looks fabulous. But Jay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how you grade them?
I grade them, looking at them as a display here, to me, they're iconic. The only thing that disappointed me about the Dinobots in the animated series is that they didn't introduce Snarl, or let me rephrase, the original Snarl, which I guess in this case would be Slag, and then Sludge. But iconic. And on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll again rate Grimlock a 9.9 based on the color scheme. Snarl, size comparison, I would give him a 9.8, and Swoop, I really like this figure a lot. Again, he is kind of flimsy, so I will give him a 9.5.
Alright, for my scale of 1 to 10, I gotta go for Gridlock a 10 out of 10. Like Jay mentioned about the colors, he could have been better, but hey, everything else works, so it's a keeper. But as for Snarl, again, the size comparison that Jay mentioned as well, made it disappointing. I give him a 9.5 out of 10. But as for Swoop, like I said earlier, he's a little bit flimsy, and I was a little bit disappointed about him. I go for a 7.5 out of 10. But as a whole, I give it an 8.5 out of 10. Sorry guys, I had to stop the video from here on in, because the next video, I'm doing a quick review of Transformers War for Cybertron, and see how it stack up and how I feel about it. Plus, me and Jay are going to hit up on a vlog talking about the upcoming Botcon, what you expect and what people who we see, and a whole bunch more. So look out for that. So this is Byg B. Check you on the flip. Peace out, people.